killed her children, that I raped her, that I smashed her head in like this.
The Bear of the Maiden Fair!
As vile as Game of Thrones likes to be, maybe we should all just be thankful that the noises are coming from up top. But still, an episode with this much story has time for this belch, this ballad trivia night nonsense.
Well, it's being used as an introduction to this brothel before everyone gets murdered. So I guess they could have done it differently, but I really don't see why.
Aw man, now Pete's blood is all mixed in with the well water. Way to f*** up the water supply for the whole village.
I get that he mispronounced all that shit on purpose, but I'm singing it anyway cause I'm an asshole. Also, blood in the water supply is the least of these dead people's concerns.
Clearly these assholes did not appreciate the recent off-Broadway presentation of The Best Little Whorehouse in Westeros.
Whatever the fuck that sin was.
Man, I hope the wildlings weren't planning on keeping this village for their own. The amount of time and money it's going to take to tend to those hardwood floors once they buckle from all the blood and shit on them will not be worth it.
Well, they're not, considering how they moved on immediately after ransacking this village. Their ultimate goal here is to take Castle Black.
I should never have left her there.
You couldn't have known.
Of course I could have known.
For sure, Samwell could have. In fact, as many sin-worthy storylines as this show has had in almost 4 full seasons, Samwell leaving Gilly at the whorehouse cheers where everybody screams your name, and we're all so glad you came, is the sinniest by at least 10 cents.
I agree that Sam and Gilly's storyline was a little slow, and they should have stuck to the book storyline, but I'm still sending you for that awful singing.
Oh, so it's all right then. Blackjack and kegs and Molly chopped to pieces because they broke the rules.
How far down the list of HBO's spin-off ideas is the show about blackjack, kegs, and Molly forming a morning zoo-type radio show that sweeps the nation before being banished to take the night's watch for a prank that went too far? Wait, you're telling me you wouldn't watch WGOT in Westerosi?
What the fuck? That's not even an attempt at a legit sin.
When the slavers castrate the boys, did they take all of it?
Okay, so this show is so goddamn obsessed with male genitalia that I'm ordering it to receive intense Freudian psychoanalysis immediately.
It's obsessed with male genitalia? I'm 100% positive that the amount of dicks in this show is far less than the amount of titties.
The pillar and the stones.
Why is Daenerys beating around the literal bush here, when just a few seconds ago she was saying the Dothraki are not embarrassed by the human body?
Because Missandei is not Dothraki and is embarrassed by the human body.
You'd think two people who are glad to have shared a nudity moment together wouldn't look like they've just discovered their cat got run over by a runaway cart.
Dude, pay attention. They're not necessarily sad, or whatever you're suggesting. They're confused, because Grey Worm doesn't have a dick, but is trying to get with Missandei anyway. It's a weird situation.
Traditions are important.
Discount Mark Price makes a good point. I have a tradition of tuning out the show every time it involves Ramsay and the Reek shenanigans.
Tuning out the show when Ramsay and Reek are on is worth at least 10 cents.
She was an odd fish, everyone knew that. But suicide...
And now we're on to litigating Larry Aaron's death. I swear if something exciting doesn't happen soon in this episode, my head is going to explode.
I'm torn between removing a sin for the head exploding joke and giving you one for saying that all this shit is boring. I'm an asshole. I'll give you one.
You could see it in the way she raised that boy, feeding him from her own teats when he was 10 years old.
After 37 episodes, it feels like a sin that 10-year-old breastfeeding doesn't even crack the top 25 of ickiness this show has had to offer. In fact, it almost comes off as somewhat endearing in comparison to everything else.
That's the point, Jeremy. This show is fucked up in pretty much every way.
Also, not knowing what Littlefinger's plan is here, I still can't believe for 2 seconds that this council would let Robin start ruling a goddamn thing. He makes Joffrey look like the Abraham Lincoln of kings.
Comparing Joffrey to Abraham Lincoln. Also, are you really saying that Robin is worse than Joffrey? I mean, yeah, Robin's a spoiled dick, but Joffrey actively gets sexual thrills from killing people.
Have you told her? I wanted to tell you first. Man to man.
There's so much gravely voiced antagonism in this scene that I briefly thought I was watching Bradley Cooper and Sam Elliott square off in A Star is Born.
Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
That wine merchant tried to poison me because of your information.
I stopped you from drinking his wine.
Because you knew it was poisoned.
Game of Thrones episode somehow devolves into the plot of a romantic comedy, where some previously undisclosed misunderstanding exposes the male protagonist, even though he's grown to love the female protagonist.
Misunderstanding? Really, Jeremy? It's not a fucking misunderstanding. Jorah gave her known enemies vital information on her for a long-ass time. That is not a misunderstanding.
If you're found in Marine past break of day, I'll have your head thrown into Slaver's Bay.
And I don't care what you say, there's no amount that you could pay, so turn around the other way, cause you know Khaleesi don't play.
Oh, fuck off, Jer Bear.
Who would pass the bloody gate?
The bloody hound and his traveling companion, Arya Stark.
There is no greater example of this show trying to stretch out these stories than Arya and the Hound staying together for this entire season. I swear you might as well just play the Odd Couple music under everything they do and be done with it.
Are you kidding me? This storyline was one of the most interesting ones from this season, and you're actively trying to ruin it.
You could at least wear a helmet.
Skull shadowing. Also, if Oberyn had worn a helmet, would that have really done anything? I guess it depends on the material, but that's a very simple addition that wouldn't impede his movement and would have saved us a lot of fake gore at the end of this episode.
I mean, a helmet wouldn't impede his movement, but it would limit his vision, which is why he didn't wear one.
Also, you could at least wear a helmet were the words I probably heard the most from my college girlfriend.
Hey, a cringy college girlfriend joke.
New Mountain, who dis? This is shocking, horrifying, and conceptually disgusting, but the sound effect of Oberyn's head exploding is so schlocky that it might as well be from an obscure 80s horror movie.
Hey, Jeremy, what do you think someone's head getting smashed in sounds like? Oh, you're not gonna offer an alternative? Okay.